Okay, so then the question comes, who is the best devotee? That is the shloka number 47. He says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmanah shraddhavan bhajate yah mam saha me yuktam matah. Okay, so what it means is that even among all the yogis, madgatena antaratma, he has the knowledge of what is getting manifested and what truly it means. Shraddhavan bhajate yaha mam. He understands that he is not the person. Meaning to say that he has faith, shraddha, to the full extent because he has experienced. So experiential reality is called as shraddha because the person will not fall down anywhere. Unless it is self-experienced, there is always a chance of person losing faith or getting doubt. Saha me yuktatam mataha. As per me, in my opinion, he is one of the most yukta, that is able one. So, with this we understand the tat and tvam. And the next one we are going to go with asi. So what this thing teaches is that how we can have atma samyama. So day before yesterday I had a nice vision. So I was explaining to my wife on that vision. Maybe that the whole night I was contemplating, so it came out as a vision. Let's say there are 10 buckets filled with water. I will explain to you what is liberation and what is Atma Jnana or Atmananda in that. So this happened as an experience. So there are 10 buckets and all the 10 buckets are filled with equal amount of water. And this bucket is made up of clay, not the plastic one, the clay ones. So these are kept outside the building, and it is a it is a completely clear sky wherein the moon can be very visibly seen. Put a door up. So when this moon falls as light on each one of these mud or clay buckets, it shines forth. But the problem with that moon, which is reflecting, is that it will evaporate that water. It can be moon or it can be sun. So evaporation is possible in most in the sun. So we can take it as sun. Clear sky and everything that is appearing in the sky appears in the bucket. If there is nothing at all, like a leaf or some kind of mud, some kind of dirt, which covers up that light coming inside from the sky, these buckets, individual buckets, will still be able to reflect the light of its own. and the water can still evaporate. And as the water evaporates, so the clay bucket keeps on diminishing in its essence, or in its strength, or in its luster. And the reflection inside would like to protect it as much as possible, without knowing that it itself has no power to do it. But even in that leaf or dirt or whatever that has fallen, that much amount of power is sufficient to run the machine. So that bucket thinks I am doing it. So as soon as the water get evaporated, the water is refilled and the food is refilled like that, similar to what we are doing today, is to refuel ourselves every few hours and consider that it is our property, because it is covered by the mud and dirt and leaves and other things which has fallen in the water. So this person called as this bucket starts to pray to God, because it doesn't want to lose anything there, but it is losing. So it asks for protection. As if it is working as per the karma, this person feels that there is some relief, or this bucket feels that there is some relief. If as per karma it is not getting the result, then it doesn't know what to do. One fine day, this one of the bucket realizes that there is some dirt, and that is causing this reflection not being proper. So it takes the trouble of removing that dirt and twig and leaves and other things which have fallen from that, just starts clearing it up, because it can do it. It has the power to do, to manifest. As it starts doing it, the reflection starts to increase. And then it comes to know that, oh, I am just the water and the bucket. This moon is something, or the sun is something different than this water and the bucket. So there should be something called as God, which is able to reflect. So it starts with a devotion towards one deity, what it considers, which is that light. Now it gets into Shraddha, faith, that it is definitely not itself, there is something else which is shining. I am just that reflection. The original self is something different. So as it clears, the sun starts shining much brighter. And this is what is seen by a yogi in Dhyana, that there is something which is shining. And it shines and becomes more and more bright and clear. Now, that state of the mind, which is just reflecting without any identification whatsoever, is called Atmananda. Okay? And then it does something different. it drops the bucket. Even otherwise, it would have dropped as death. So it wants to experience what is death and what is deathless. So what it does, it evaporates the water. If the water is evaporated, that is, individual self is evaporated, then what remains is the Supreme Self. So in this particular case, the prana is there and the bucket is intact because all the five senses are there and the matter is working beautifully. The difference between death and the difference between a yogi is that in the case of death, the prana is not there, the heat is not there, and the body doesn't have any knowledge whatsoever. So, and the ayas or ayush is exhausted, meaning the energy is gone. So the individual reflection has moved out and it is on its way to wherever it should reach. So this bucket is broken. It is broken into pieces. So nobody can reassemble it. Whereas in this case, the bucket is not broken, but the water is evaporated. So now if somebody were to ask, what is this Brahman? Did you experience? What should be the answer? If there were water, then I can explain, yes, I experienced because I existed. I, in the sense that water existed. So there is something to reflect. Now, when the water itself is not there, what can I reflect? So, how many days can I stay in that state? Before throwing that water out, I can make a determination on how many days I want to stay in that state. The body will still be diminishing, but the indriyas would be perfect. They don't diminish. And there is no, the objects, indriya vastu is not there. So the indriya is not connected with indriya vastu, and in that case, there is no need for urination, there is no need for breathing, there is no need for feces, there is no need for food. So then anything can grow. Yes, anything can grow. Lizard can walk, serpents can walk, because there is no person there at all. So in that state, without an individual ego, that is unconditioned state. Everything else is conditioned. That is, the bucket is there, it's conditioned. Water is there, it's conditioned. Evaporation is happening, it's also conditioned. The sun is shining, is also conditioned. If water were not to be there, then the conditionality is not at all there. So nobody can explain what it would be without mind, without that water. A person can only say, I realized that I is liberated. Nothing more than that. So in the all the other buckets where to assemble and ask this person, how come you have been shining like this? What he could answer? Nothing. Because what is shining is the original consciousness. What is shining in the bucket is a reflected consciousness. And what is this raga, dvesha and moha are nothing but the vibrations which are happening in that bucket due to the presence of dirt and other things, which itself is raga, dvesha, moha. So there is attraction, there is repulsion, and there is an inclination that I exist. If I exist, then everything exists. All relationship exist, like husband, wife, parent, neighbor, country, this, that, all kind of things exist till I is existing. Now, what's the difference between cleaning that water and evaporating or throwing out the water? Cleaning up water will give you happiness, but limited to the bucket, which is still conditioned. Whereas water totally removed cannot be explained because that is permanent. So, this is the state we are supposed to reach when we understand the sixth chapter, Atma Samyama. So, this I got as a vision on Saturday. So, I was explaining to my wife on what's the difference between a normal realization and a liberation. Any questions?
So cleaning up that water is Atmananda.
Correct.
And throwing away the complete water and then completely outside of the bucket.
Yes.
Or inside, whatever you consider. That is Brahman.
Yes. So when we go to deep samadhi, you will realize Brahman for a minute or 2 or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. But you cannot stay for a long period of time because there is you not there. So you can't say, I will stay for 10 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours. It just involuntarily happens.
Correct.
But when the raga, dvesha, moha is completely removed, water is gone.
Yeah. So that is the jump which has to be done. First, anyway, you will have to clean, then only you can throw.
Correct. Very correct. So first we have to cut the relationships in our mind. So we have to get into vairagya, then starts the sadhana through viveka, then in the end you get into sannyasa. And then the jump is possible.
Yeah.
So the current state we are in, we can at the max reach Atmananda.
I think once you reach Atmananda, then you will have to stay there for some time and then continuously keep on trying, and then one day you will reach.
Yes. So the water has to be dried. So first and foremost, what needs to be understood by that bucket is that There is no permanent water in the bucket. Neither the bucket is permanent. These two things have to be perfectly understood. Bucket is the body. We have this inclination that I am the body. And the water, I have an inclination that I am the mind. Because I'm able to eat, I'm able to sleep, I'm able to sing, I'm able to sit, I'm able to talk, and I'm able to work, and I'm able to earn, and I have this knowledge and intellect, and all that is that water. It's very difficult to mind to let go of the bucket because it knows that without the bucket, it again has to search for the bucket. So once the bucket is there, it wants to hold it tight, not realizing that the bucket is shrinking. It is said that you are growing. See, we never use the word shrink or decay or whatever. We always use the word growth. If a person were to keenly observe, there is no growth, he is decaying. But we don't want to use that word because it brings fear. Growth doesn't bring any fear. Growth brings in a kind of pleasure that I am growing. So when we meet another person, we say, "Oh, you've grown tall." Actually speaking, he has decayed from his earlier state. Or you've grown fat, you've grown lean, you've grown whatever you've grown. If he was supposed to grow, why couldn't he grow the way he wanted to grow? For which there is no answer. Anyway, so that is how we use the language and syntax to ensure that the bucket stays intact in the mind. Not willing to accept that the bucket is diminishing or it is decaying or getting destroyed. The right word to be used is destruction. The bucket is getting destroyed every moment. But then we don't want to use it, so we use the word growth. So this is a normal person who believes that the bucket exists, the water exists, and that sun also exists permanently in that bucket. But then the water has a limited time in that bucket. So as soon as its term ends, it will move into another bucket. And there is a fear now. Back, when will this bucket will fall? So we want to protect the bucket. This is a normal tendency. For an Atma, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. For that, I think for all the living beings, they have this survival mechanism ingrained in them.
Yes.
They just, any animal or anything you take, they want to preserve their body.
Yes.
They just don't want to die.
Yes.
So because innately, I think you know that it is difficult to get a body.
Yes.
So you try to hold on to it, whatever is the condition.
Yes, whatever is the condition, the person, the animal, the bird or insect, whatever, it wants to hold on, latch on to the body.
Yeah.
Or latch on to the bucket.
Correct. So then the water is not thrown away, so the water still exists. So that water, along with that reflected moon or sun, whatever, it goes to some other
Yes.
body. It keeps on searching the body. If water is not there, there is nothing to search for.
Exactly. Exactly. If the mind were to get relieved of its conditions, the water goes away. Then that is Brahmananda. Because there is no need again to re-establish.
Yeah, correct.
Now every time we have to re-establish, right? Like if you if you quit a company A and join a company B, you have to re-establish.
Yeah, it is hard work.
Yes, and that is what we don't want. Every being doesn't want to do that again and again and again. But because the mind is cluttered with raga, dvesha, moha, attraction, repulsion, and I-ness, it keeps on moving from one body to another, re-establishing the same thing it had done earlier. See, you see the fun, Lata. You might be studying Malayalam, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, English, French, German, this language, this custom, that custom. That being has been learning this forever.
Yeah.
In every bucket it lands into, they will teach its language. Bird will have bird language, animal will have animal language, even an animal, dog will have dog language, cat will have cat language. Every being will have their own language, their own syntaxes, their own symbols, their own identification. They exactly know what it is.
Correct. So again, you have to keep on doing this hard work
Yes, you
again
keep
and again and again.
yes, and that is dukkha. This whole thing is dukkha because you are recreating it from scratch. See, if I were to join as a consultant in another company, I have to redo this whole process again. You have to establish identity, you have to establish that rapport, you have to again establish whatever they want, and then you have to start serving, and they will complain, you have to correct it, you have to do all that. And after some time, you are established, and then things are working fine. Then something will come and it will block that, you have to clear that block. So the whole life will go in removing block, and there's a block, and again remove block, there's a block. So it keeps on happening.
But whatever the spiritual studies we are doing, that is also lost unless and until you have an experience. Right?
Yes. So learning just Shravana is not going to do anything at all.
So you will have to the real experiences you had. That will stay with you.
Yeah, now the experience what I had on the bucket and water, that will stay.
Yeah, correct. So I this reflected consciousness. And anyway, since I saw that dream or whatever it is, moon, I didn't know what exactly it was, but then you explained to me. But that I will never forget.
Yes, that will remain.
Whatever. Yeah, correct. So then the other day, I think it was in February. So normally morning 4:30 I get up, and then around 5:15 is when I go to the kitchen to start cooking. And normally I have no time to go to check in the balcony or nothing because the time is limited. But that day somebody asked me to go to the balcony, so I went. Then there was a full moon there, and then somebody was teaching me. I asked me to look at the moon. I was looking, and the moon was shining, and then some clouds came, and then it was telling me something. Those are the dirt, and then it was giving different colors. I think I saw pink, red, and all that. And then again, the clouds move away, and there's kind of running commentary. So this I will never forget. So I know that moon is that Brahman or Atman or whatever it is, and then our thoughts or our emotions, that is all that thing which is clouding it. And it was giving me for 15-20 minutes. I was just wonderstruck and I was standing there. Normally I don't have time to go and look there, but that I will never forget. So that is something which was very good. Then next day also I thought, okay, maybe something will happen. And I looked at the moon, but there was not a single cloud and nothing. All that magic was not there the next day. Okay, then one particular day, so it really showed me. That is when I realized that I need to clean my mind and so on and so forth. That's why I was behind you for a mantra and all that. That triggered me actually.
Okay.
But that also I will never forget.
Yes, so whatever has worked personally for you in that bucket and in that bucket, while in the bucket and in that water will remain. Whatever was just understood
will
go away like a somebody writing it on the water. It will not even stay there. It won't be etched on the mind surface.
Yeah, it is like the samskaras or vasanas only, no? So
yes, these are good vasanas. Yes, these are good vasanas. So that's how it works. So I had a very tremendous experience on Saturday. So Friday.
Yeah. So then all these will be etched in your memory.
Yes.
In your imprinted.
Imprinted, yes. So whichever life I am in, I can recall
get
it.
it back. Maybe we already had all this in some other lives also.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why
yeah.
it is.
Yes. The very reason I am on this path is because of that, not because of anything else. And whether I talk this or Bhuta Shuddhi or this or that or whatever it is, everything has been an experience.
Yeah, I think you had lots and lots of experience in different lives, and that
Yes,
is imprinted, and that's also coming out as teachings for us.
correct. That's all what is happening. So it is nice. So on Saturday morning, or Saturday early morning, I had this vision. I was very much awake. I was seeing all the things. And then when the bucket fell down, meaning fell down is that the water fell down, water went away. It was complete silence. There's nothing there to experience or to say or to do anything. But it was a very short time, and then again things started manifesting. So the state what each one of us have to reach at the time of death, if we don't want rebirth, is this: the water is dried up.
And for that, the only way is to be full time in that, because you don't know when you're going to die.
Exactly, exactly. So there's no point in wasting time on anything.
Yeah, but
So
I think the awareness meditation, if you are able to do it continuously,
it works.
then you're always in that, more or less.
Yes, I'm
At
being
least in Atmananda.
correct. At least worst case you're in Atmananda, which is better. And I've been doing that. So all the time I am in my own bliss. No worries.
Yeah, but then sometimes I know that I can do it, but sometimes I don't want to.
No, there is this. There are still dirt in your mind, which will come and say that you don't have to do it right now, or there are some compulsions. All these are obstacles.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Why is it that sometimes I don't want to do it? Because when I know that I can do it anytime.
Yes, the reason why you are not doing it because there is no you to do it. It's only the chittas which are working. So you have many chittas which come and fight. So you will always. It makes first feeling it gives you is you are doing it. The first thing what you get,
Mm.
and then you will have two views. One you should do it, another one shouldn't do it. It's like two children coming and talking to you. I want to do this, and another one will say, no, no, I shouldn't be doing that.
But there is no fight happening like that.
Fight in the sense that you will either do it or not do it. So it will takes like
Yeah, correct. And it's not like that some conflict is happening. I should do it. I should not do it. Don't do it like that. Nothing like that happens. It is still that calm only.
it is calm. I'm see. It's like
Mm.
I and
But
you
I
talking.
understood. It is still in the subtle level that is there.
Yes, it's like I and you talking, and very civilized way we are talking.
Yeah,
Okay, but deep down there will be something.
correct.
So if Atmananda was such a nicest thing, and the whole of the chittas were to see that, then it would be always be in that state. That is Advaita.
Yeah, correct. So there are some chittas which is still not got that.
Yes, and so it will be in Dvaita.
Yeah. So I am in Dvaita only because I still have Muruga and consider him as Guru, and he still guides me. So that's there. Still.
True. So with that, we end the sixth chapter.
Yeah, good.
So we ended early. So tomorrow we can start on the seventh chapter.
So you say there are still dirt in my mind. So how do we clear it? The same process.
Same process remains the same.
Hmm.
There is no change in the process. That would be until you drop the bucket.
Yeah.
So the next chapter is Jnana Vijnana Yoga.
Jnana Vijnana Yoga.
Yeah, what is Jnana and what is Gneya and what is Vijnana?
Jnana is knowledge and Vijnana is wisdom, isn't it?
Yes, Jnana is wisdom.
And wisdom is what we should get. Knowledge, anyway, we have enough.
Yeah, we have marketed a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, so actually, the intellectual knowledge is good.
Yes.
So at least I can say that now my intellectual knowledge is good. I understand intellectually whatever is possible to be understood. So wisdom is what is lacking.
Yes. It's not wisdom is not lacking. Wisdom is there, but it is not coming at the right moment.
Yeah, correct. It is not revealed.
It's not immediately revealed along with the expression.
Hmm.
So the basic aim is to replace knowledge with wisdom.
Yeah, so wisdom will anyway come with experience.
Yes, and wisdom is always experiential. Now the question comes, who is experiencing? It is experienced by the mind.
Yeah, correct.
So there is no I to experience. So initially there is I experience and then the I goes away. So the mind goes away. Then the experiencer and the experienced becomes the same.
Hmm.
Because there is no need to experience anything now. Only if the mind is there, it requires experience. If the mind is not there, then there is nothing called as experience because it is that self already has all experiences. It is all pervading. It has all knowledge. It has all inputs. It has all outputs. And it itself doesn't do anything. So that is the supreme state through which everything is manifesting. And then the Brahman is revealed.
Yeah, so actually, I can feel it is so close, but yet so far away.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Yes, that's true. And for everyone, it is like that only. It is so close yet too far. Actually speaking, Lata, if you observe your breath, it is just below your nose. Not even too far, just below your nose.
So I feel everything is coded and kept in nature. Everything is there, coded in one way or the other. There are all these truths, and somehow we are not able to see it.
Yes.
Everywhere, wherever you look, it is kept hidden, or it not. It is there.
No,
Or
it
you
is not
just have to
hidden.
observe and find out.
No, it is not even hidden. It is obvious, but obvious things are not noticed.
Yeah, correct.
Because there is distraction. See now, what is the world distracted with? World is distracted with five senses. And what is a world? World means five senses. That's all.
Right.
So if I were to say that, let us say, if we take an example and say that Norway exists, Sweden exists, Europe exists, India exists, America exists, this tree exists, that exists, it's just naming it, which is called as the world. Because through five senses you can grasp it back. So instead of saying a piece of land, we call that as piece of what we can say, we can call it as a piece of treasure. So when the word treasure is used, mind automatically adds value to it. If you just say a piece of land, there's no value. But when you say treasure, it means which can be kept. Land cannot be kept. Treasure can be kept. Then if you want a value to the treasure, you need to have some number. So this treasure is around 1 million. Now that becomes difficult now to understand 1 million in terms of what? So we say in terms of dollars. So there is a value already given that $1 is 70 rupees. So then immediately that 1 million or whatever it is, or 10 million, that person multiplies it by 70 and he'll make it a 700 million. So there is a pleasure immediately appearing in the mind's eye. Now what the yogi will do, he will not put a number. He'll just watch what is happening. Reality is, treasure is also made out of mud. The land is also made out of mud. Both are mud only. So that the mind doesn't go this way or that way.
Isn't it very difficult to remove all the impurities in the mind living in this world?
No, correct. For that, you have to delete the world from your mind. That's all. Very simple.
Yeah.
Impurities is due to Nama and Rupa.
Mm-hmm.
So you remove Nama Rupa, where is the impurity? Not there. So you're released. Right now you're released. Only thing now you need to do is stop reappearing, reinventing or rebirth process, and then you don't come back again. There's no you to come back. That's all. See this, if I know for sure that whatever I do, I cannot keep the wife 100% alive. Whatever I do, I cannot keep the daughter or the son 100% alive. Whatever I do, I cannot keep the parents alive, the neighbor alive, the friend alive, this alive, that alive, because they are transient in nature. And in fact, there is no person called as wife and husband and son and daughter and neighbor and all that. They're just play of words and nothing else. Is that cutting off in the mind tougher than going and changing each person's name, saying that you are not the husband, you are not the wife, and that causes more calamity to them? Saying that how can you say that I am not your husband or I am not your wife or you are not my child? That is stupidity. I have to observe it in my mind. The raga here is on the wife. The dvesha here is on the wife. The moha is on myself. That I exist and she is my wife or he is my husband. If I were to cut that off in the mind, I have released that person from my clutches. So it's easy. Because that is a reality. That's just mud. The wife body is just a mud, which we can see it every 3 hours we are eating. I just now had a breakfast. She also had a breakfast. So that means we both are replenishing the stock for this equipment. So there's no wife, there's no husband. Simple. There are two beings which are just refueling the 5 elements. So where is the relationship now? Not there. That's all what we are supposed to do with every person, and then with every countries or whatever we have learned so far, and with every dollar or pound or Indian rupees or some other currency, we have to just take it that it is just a transaction, a currency. It's not nothing to do with value. So finished, you're done. Nama and Rupa slowly will vanish out from the mind. Then you are at peace. Then and there you are having Atmananda. There is no other Atmananda than this.
Today, what has no questions?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
And I was enjoying, in between, I was enjoying that my blissful moments for about 2 minutes. Good question and a good response. I was thinking, see, people like us, we are interested to practice more. But because of some problems coming on daily basis, we are not able to devote enough time for this. Then, during that time, if I go and pray myself, please give me the time so that I can do much better. I have seen the result is also coming. Is it a coincidence or is it the really happening? Is there somebody listening and giving that space?
Nobody is listening and giving you space. It is happening. It is happening within your own consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing outside of you which can give you that.
Yeah, everything is appearing in you. But for our convenience sake, we keep it as God, and then try to.
No, that you brought a concept of Devata. Devatas, they have maybe our gurus, those we have gone through in our previous life maybe. Is there any channel they are trying to help us by giving, taking some of our difficult moments
No.
away?
No, it doesn't happen. Nobody can take anybody's karma.
But karma can be cut through spirituality. So
Karma can be cut through spirituality, but that doesn't mean that somebody will take it away on his or her head.
But it is possible, right? For the really.
I have really that doubt. Yes, I have really that doubt. Sometimes
because I have read. I don't remember. Some recently only I read that some very realized saints take it on themselves and they struggle and then cure the other person off.
That is correct, but if he takes that person's karma, then he will not get liberation.
Yeah, it is there in the book which you gave, no, the Agori. That is there only, I think I read.
Yeah, it is there in that book. And then that person suffered.
Yes, I know. 40 days suffered he.
Yes.
Some leprosy he took off some young lady.
Yes.
And he suffered for 40 days.
Yes. So people cannot escape the suffering, whether that person suffered or another person suffered. The suffering is going to be there. So out of compassion, if a person were to take somebody's problem, that problem is going to surmount that person who has took compassion. So
correct. So unless and until you are at level, you cannot take it.
Yes, and better not take it because you will stop your own progress.
But some people have this kind of tremendous compassion, so
yes.
They take it.
And they take it, and that is what the Mahayana Buddhism is all about. They believe that the person reincarnates himself to liberate everyone in this world rather than he himself liberating. So out of compassion, they come back again and again and again and again to do the same thing just because they want to uplift the world. That's the way they look at things.
Yeah.
But my experience is, Vilas, see, if we do some, say, meditation for a long time, then, okay, you have two approaches. One is don't ask anything, you'll get peace of mind and come out. That's the best way. Other thing is you are going through some tough times due to any reason, external reasons, not your internal. So that suddenly comes like a rain and it goes away. So during that time, if you really do a sincere prayer, so this so-called that supreme power, it helps us, is my experience. Is it the real experience? I don't know, but I am going through that stage since so many months now. When I pray something, like please do this and help me, only for spiritual growth, nothing else. Question is for spiritual growth only, not for materialistic. Then that help comes.
Yes, the help is coming. It's like Savikalpa Samadhi or Saguna Brahman. So it has the Sattva Guna. So from your mind, the Sattvic Guna is reflecting. So it comes. You are able to manifest. All the ideas are manifesting in the mind. Product ideas, where are they manifesting? You tell me that. There is no God coming and giving you that product, right? Or let us say you are studying something. Is the God studying there? You are only doing it, right? How are you doing it? You are concentrating. The moment you concentrate on something, the consciousness is there. It does everything as a manifestation. And that consciousness is called as God. But the mind feels that it did it. That's all we're trying to do. What are we trying to do is to remove it from the mind that it did anything. There was no I to do it. It is only the consciousness which is doing it. And consciousness is called Brahman. Simple. So when we do prayer, when we do archana, when we do various rituals, we are offering to whom? We are offering to ourselves. Then there are gods like us who are in a better position. So they come and smell the food, and then it becomes very good in taste. That is called as prasada. So we first offer to the gods and then we eat it. But the same consciousness is there in the God, and the same consciousness is there in you. But I don't feel that I have the same consciousness. I feel I am an individual consciousness. There is something called as God consciousness. And this is what is Dvaita is all about. Atma Paramatma. So I am a limited entity and there is something called as unlimited. Not knowing that I myself is an unlimited entity, right now it is limited.
Okay, I am not jnani enough to understand that. Still
Yes.
I am in Dvaiti. That's the reason.
Yes. So the day I understand it, I can say I am Aham Brahmasmi. Correct?
Yeah. I think, yes, I understood. Okay, Vilas, I have to join another meeting now. Thank you so much.
No worries. And then we will also end the call here and we'll meet on tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you then. Yeah, bye.